Good day, comrades and gentlemen. Excuse me for my not perfect English. Let me read. At the end of the year 2025, 20 years have passed since November and December 2005, when Lithuanian secret services, primarily the State Security Department of the Republic of Lithuania, began illegal overt surveillance of me. Initially, they showed me that they started monitoring me as early as in May 1992, that is 33 years ago. Immediately after I brought my analytical surveys to reception of British Embassy here in Vilnius. Later, I always visited that reception of British Embassy absolutely overtly, though sufficiently rarely. In my surveys, I try to explain, first of all, Russian events, because Western politicians and Sovietologists never understood the way of actions of Russian politicians. And also, I commented Lithuanian events if I considered it very important. For example, I briefed 3 failed attempts of coup d'état committed by Party Union of Fatherland in Lithuania in 1991, then 1992, and then 1993, in order to establish authoritarian power of its leader, Professor Vytautas Landsbergis. Why I did it? The matter is that while a dissident in Soviet times, I sacrificed my rather high status of philosopher and could not publish my articles. Whereas in the independent Lithuania after 1991, it became almost impossible because I had no protection and I am Russian. So in May 1992, I was put under surveillance by then head of State Security Department, Balys Gajauskas. I don't care about his merits to Lithuania during the post-war armed anti-Soviet resistance, nor that Balys Gajauskas died long ago. It was just he who started to illegally deprive me of my normal life, mostly because I am Russian and he was Lithuanian nationalist, so I call him as. In 1994, that is 2 years later, I began to deliver my analytical surveys also to the reception of American Embassy here in Vilnius. The surveillance wasn't intensive in those times. It proceeded basically covertly, so I didn't do anything about it. In summer 2005, I brought my surveys to both embassies for the last time. I blamed those governments of double standards. They defend democracy and human rights for those who are politically advantageous for them and do nothing when their proteges maliciously violate human rights themselves. In the fall of the same year of 2005, the surveillance became quite overt and psychologically harassing, using means of pantomime. First of all, the Lithuanian secret services demonstrated to me that they can enter and leave our apartment even when we are in. Our kitchen is located near the entrance to the apartment. One December evening in 2005, that is 20 years ago, I fixed the hot water faucet in the kitchen and went to bed, closing the door of the small corridor behind me. When I opened this door in the morning and entered the kitchen, hot water gushed out from the tap. The kitchen gradually filled with steam. Someone opened the faucet just a few minutes ago before my arrival. Only after 3 months, already in 2006, did it become clear to me how it was done. From American websites devoted to TIs, targeted individuals, I learned that there are high-frequency through-the-wall scanning raiders. Likely one or two of them are located in adjacent apartment. That evening, the operative saw me repairing the hot water faucet. Early in the morning, when they saw through the radar that I was waking up and could go to the kitchen, they apparently removed the door chain through the door with the help of powerful magnet. One of them quietly entered the kitchen, opened the hot water tap completely, and when he left, they hung the chain back through the door again. The faucet could not turn in the opposite direction by itself. Even today, after 20 years, I don't know since when they see me around the clock in my own apartment and enter it. Please watch my video series Privacy is Destroyed here on my channel Filming of Agents. Now about their pantomime since the beginning of 2006. More and more often, someone passing nearby stared into my eyes. Once someone took a picture of me so that I could see it. Until today, the following technique is sometimes used. Someone in front is standing aside or directly in my path, looking at his smartphone and slowly moving aside when I approach, not turning to me. They have very many such methods. On March 15, 2006, as I was passing by the entrance to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Lithuania, a woman walking in front of me suddenly pulled out and showed me a piece of white paper. It was a clear threat of murder, which is repeated occasionally by showing me something white. Please find on my channel Filming of Agents series 3 to Kill and also 3 to Beat. All that is absolutely illegal, so-called extrajudicial, anti-constitutional persecution. That means that the real power in any country is anti-constitutional and belongs not to politicians, parliaments and governments, but to secret services. They began to harass me for my truly free and independent thinking, even from Soviet times, and only for this. They have no formal reason to punish me according to the law, and they are afraid to let me speak publicly. So for 20 years they have been harassing me with illegal means, especially since they know that I am not afraid of them and I despise and hate them. And of course it matters that I am Russian for them, because it's impossible to imagine a Lithuanian man in such a situation. Someone would definitely help, assist him one way or another. But I can't cope alone, as you see. I list now the criminals.
This person, Balys Gajauskas, has already been exposed by me. Juozas Mureika, my former philosophical superior during Soviet times, professor of aesthetics, former KGB lieutenant who deprived me of my philosophical position, being obviously re-recruited later into the State Security Department. I suppose it was just he who helped to arrange surveillance of me and you, because he knows me since the year 1973. And he participated personally nearby my house on January 25, 2006. He apparently thought that I hadn't noticed him, a normal scoundrel from the secret services. Valdas Adamkus, former president of the Republic of Lithuania. In 2006, on February 16th, Lithuania's Independence Day, he awarded me the Lithuanian Independence Medal. During the ceremony, I briefly complained to the President that the State Security Department was illegally persecuting me. President Adamkus promised to look into it but did nothing, so by the end of the year I returned the medal back. If the president awards me, that means I am his man and he is obliged to protect me. But I am Russian, so this nationalistic nonentity left me defenseless. Egidius Kouris lives in the apartment above me. On March 8, 2008, I met him, then the president of the Constitutional Court of Lithuania, and asked him for some friendly advice concerning illegal surveillance of me. He hypocritically replied that I was talking nonsense. I realized that earlier, in 2007, Kouris had been deliberately banging iron above our apartment at 6 a.m. to wake me, still sleeping. And after my appeal to him, this scoundrel not only began to more overtly demonstrate various pantomimes, but also involved his 11-year-old son, Alexandras, in it. Here, 9 years later, in March 2017, Alexandras Kouris is demonstrating his smartphone in which he watched my movements when I left my apartment, going downstairs and coming out from our house. He was waiting for me. And note the position of his hand holding smartphone, which is what agents are trained to do. It is only visible to the target of terror, not to passers-by. Today, in January 2026, Alexandras Kouris works already as an assistant judge. The boss of all those political criminals, Remigius Bridikis, recently appointed new director of the State Security Department, the main customer of illegal harassing of me. Now the main executioners, Arūnas Maskoliūnas, head of the Bureau of the Lithuanian Criminal Police, Mindaugas Mažonas, head of the Second Department of Operative Services under the Ministry of Defense, Arūnas Paulauskas, Commissioner General of the Police.
Now I ask all those scoundrels, how much have you achieved in 20 years of overt illegal harassment of me? Nothing, and you never will.